How's it going, guys?
Let's introduce yourself. No one's got to do it.
Good lunchtime? No, I'll introduce myself. My name's Kevin. You guys probably all know that. And just to recap, the purpose of this goal setting workshop is to help you guys set your goals. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get some energy. So I need everybody to stand up. I need you guys to give a hug to the person on your left. Give you a hug, Maria. Alright, and stay standing. The other thing I need to do is we're going to move closer this way because I'm going to need the board and you guys are way far away. So what we need is we need 3 tables vertically. I need one here, here, and here. Probably these guys would be best. Alright, good work. If that was the only thing we did this entire workshop, we would have already covered all of goal setting right there, right? Yeah. So good job, you guys. We already accomplished our goal. Let's get out of here. Now, what are we here to do, guys? Why did you guys come today? Why did you guys come to set goals?
To move chairs.
To move chairs, that's right. Why do we set goals? What are some of the reasons?
Get things done.
Get things done.
Higher chance of achieving them.
Higher chance of achieving them.
Sense of direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Sense of direction. That's a good point. Anybody else? Maybe you want to break through something. Maybe you want to change something that you've got going on. So we're gonna take a look at all of that. We're gonna spend most of this workshop. I have our list over here. I'm gonna erase this, but it's real simple. I wanted to condense as much information about goals as possible. I wanted to make this as relevant and as connecting as possible for you guys. So we're gonna go through the welcome, and we've got another couple minutes for that. We're gonna pick our goal. We're gonna actually do the workshop. We're gonna go through each of the steps for setting a goal. I'm gonna show you guys the C strategy for setting goals. And then at the end, we're gonna finish up and we're gonna give you guys some resources that have come from guys throughout the company for how to set goals and for how to accomplish your goals. What are some of the things you guys have set goals for before that you've succeeded at? School.
Got my master's degree.
Yeah. What was the strategy you had for that?
Cut out all the hanging out late at night.
Yeah, you had to leave behind a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And just stay focused on it.
What about someone else? Another goal that you succeeded at. You can say, I put my mind to this and I made it happen.
Traveling.
That's right. We talked about that.
What is it?
Traveling.
And you had to. What did you have to do to make that happen?
Cut out going out.
Probably needed some strategies for where you wanted to go.
Yeah, just learning how to plan ahead, learning how to shop for the right ticket, the day to buy it, how to plan out your vacation days. So 10 cities in 2 years, not too bad.
Awesome.
It's going to get cut out now too with my master's program, but.
What are some other goals and the strategies that work? Carolina?
Buying a house.
Buying a house, yeah. She's got a big goal that she just is finishing up now. What did you do for that? What did it take for you to get there?
Oh, yes. Budget, save money.
So it's a little bit at a time.
Cut out going out.
Right.
It's like key right there, just don't go out, guys, and you'll accomplish your
Goals
goals.
are achieved. You stay home.
If you stay away from your friends, you will stay focused.
Budgeting, planning. Absolutely. What are some of the reasons why we fail at our goals?
We go out.
Lose sight.
Yeah. Lose focus, lose sight. We don't plan.
Discouragement.
How many of you guys have been to a conference and you get jazzed after the conference? You get jazzed and you're
Every
emotional and
time.
you're motivated.
Every time.
2 weeks later,
That guy's
Yeah.
not there still.
you're done.
False.
You're like, where'd he go?
That guy.
I need him in my pocket. I need him in my pocket. We lose focus, right? We get busy going out. We get busy doing other things. What are some
of life?
What are some other things that cause us to stumble in our goals? What if you have a fitness goal?
Yeah, too hard. Lack of energy.
Lack of energy.
Energy?
Yeah. It just seems overwhelming.
Time constraints, yeah.
Yeah, life circumstances. Things get in the way.
That's a great point. Life circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you set your goal as you're gonna run a marathon, but your leg breaks. You can't really fix that, right? That gets in the way. Those are some legitimate reasons. I want to tell you guys, there's something about goals. We look at some of these strategies here, and there's a million strategies that you use when you go to accomplish your goal, right? I mean, it's not just one. Yes, you had to plan, but you had to plan. You had to cut things out of your life. You had to care about that goal. You had to be emotional. You had to be specific about the goal. We're going to talk a little bit about SMART goals, but I think most of you guys have heard of SMART goals or been exposed to those before. But there's a lot of strategies that some of us do intentionally to achieve our goals, and some of us do unconsciously to achieve our goals. And what I want you to know is that there is a strategy to success. There is a science to success. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. When I was 18 years old, I graduated high school in 2005. Yeah, I know.
Baby.
I'm old. And I remember a couple weeks before I graduated, I was crying in the principal's office. My dad was there, my English professor was there, the principal was obviously there, and I was in tears because they had just told me that I wasn't going to be able to graduate. I wasn't going to be able to walk because I had failed too many classes. My GPA wasn't high enough, and I was about to fail my English class, and I wasn't going to be able to walk with everybody else. I was going to have to repeat. And they had brought my dad, and I had no idea this was going on. Luckily, by the grace of my English professor, I was allowed to graduate high school. Fast forward 2 years, and 20 years old. I've totaled 3 cars at this time. I totaled an Oldsmobile. I bought a Honda that died shortly after, and I had a van that couldn't go in reverse, and that died. Park up on a hill, you just make it happen. And at the time, I was living in my parents' basement. I had dropped out of college, living in my parents' basement, and I was drinking 12 packs of Mountain Dew a night. I was playing video games non-stop. And as you can tell, there wasn't a whole lot going for me in life. Fast forward yet another 2 years, and I came across a company who introduced me to the science of success. And they introduced me to reading about some of the books about success and following some of the principles of people who had been successful before. And today I feel so much more accomplished because of what they gave me. But more importantly, when I was 23 years old, 1 year after starting the study of the science of success, I remember waking up and I looked in the mirror, and for the first time in my life, I remember seeing somebody that I was proud of. I remember seeing somebody that I was like, yeah, you can do it. You can make that happen. So there's a science to this. And when you get it, you're going to grow with it. You're going to grow on it. And you're going to build more skills to become more successful. You guys know, if you can do one thing really well, you can translate that pretty well into the next thing. So what I want to accomplish here is I want us to be more cognizant of the tools and strategies that we use to become successful, so that we can continue our growing path and we can become more and more successful and achieve more of our goals. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to just choose one goal today. We only have an hour and there's a ton to cover. So we're not going to be able to cover every goal you have in life. I know that you have a lot of them. But we are going to pick one. And what I want to say about that one is it has to be relevant to you. I know every goal seems like it's relevant to you, but what are some of the shoulds we have in life? What are some of the goals that everybody says they should do?
Healthy lifestyle.
Boom.
Yeah.
Eat
better,
healthy.
eat better, exercise more, stress less.
Exercise.
The usual.
I think everyone says that.
Should we go to bed late or should we go to bed early?
Go to bed early.
You should go to bed early.
That's too hard.
What else? Savings? Save
save
how what
money.
percent should we save?
10%.
10%. That's right. Everybody says save 10%. What else should we be doing, guys? We should meditate more. We should be praying more. We should be going to church. We should be eating dinner with our families. We should be spending more time with our families. It gets to be quite a lot, doesn't it? My favorite saying is, we get up to here and we end up shooting all over ourselves. And it's easy to have it happen, guys. So we're gonna pick one goal. Don't make it a should goal. Make it a must goal. You get in life what you must have. You don't get in life what you should have. If you should be traveling more, what's the likelihood that that's gonna happen? If I must be traveling more, That's a lot more powerful, right? So what is the 1 must goal? Write that down. Write that down in the first line there, or the first section there. Write down what your one goal that you would love for this workshop to help you get through. Once you have that, we're going to start attacking the strategy on this. So what I call this is the C strategy. S-E-A. And on your paper, there is an S, and then on the next page there's an E, and on the next page there's an A. This is not the section for notes. There's 2 pages that are left blank further behind that you can take, that you're welcome to take notes on. The S-E-A are actual writing portions of this workshop. So as we fill in the S, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to execute. And then we're going to talk about the E, and then we're going to execute on the E, and the A, and execute on the A. So the strategy is called C. And the way you can remember it is, think about what it's like being in a ship traveling out at sea. You have your harbor, you have the port that you want to arrive at. And in between, you're going to have a mess of things that happen to you. You're going to have the wind, you're going to have a storm that blows you off track, you're going to have infighting with the crew, you're going to get scurvy, you're going to have all of these things that happen to you during the ship. And a lot of people, they're going to leave the harbor and they're going to turn right back around and they're going to say, nope, not worth it. Or they get halfway through and they get lost in the destination. So the C strategy, think about the ship, getting from the harbor to the port of destination. And that'll help you solidify this. So the first one, I'm going to start off with a story. There is an old couple walking along the beach. An old man and his elderly wife, and they're very cute together. And the old man comes across a genie and a bottle. And of course, he gets his 3 wishes. The first thing he says to the genie, he says, "Genie, I would love the body of a 30-year-old. And the genie says to him, "Not a problem, we'll make that happen." So he bestows upon him the body of this overweight, bad-knees 30-year-old.
Oh.
So the guy says, "Well, that wasn't very good. How about this, genie? I want riches." And the genie says, "Not a problem." And he leans over to his wife and he takes her earrings, her diamond earrings, and places them in his hand. He says, "Congratulations, you now have riches." And says, "This is not going well at all." So the third wish he finally asked for. He says, "Genie, I'd like for my wife to be 30 years younger." And the genie says, "That is not a problem. I get this one all the time." And poof, old man is now 90.
Oh.
So what is the moral of the story?
Be careful with the
Specific.
Be specific. So your first fill-in is specific. I'm going to wrap all of the ideologies of SMART goals around being specific. But it's so important for you guys to be specific in your goals. What are the SMART goals? What does SMART stand for? Do you guys remember?
Measurable.
Specific,
Action oriented.
measurable,
Attainable.
yep, attainable. What's R?
Realistic.
R is relevant.
Relevant.
You want it to be relevant to you.
Get that.
And what is T?
Timetable.
Close. Yep.
Time-based?
Time bound. Time bound. So this is the principle of the SMART goals. This is a great way to frame your goal so that it's specific in a way that you can execute on it. But one of the challenges with the SMART goals program is, what about the goals that are hard to measure? What were some of the goals that you guys had, some of you guys wrote down? If you want to share. What was the goal that you wrote?
I must create more time to write my book.
Create more time to write your book. Would that be hard to make a SMART goal?
I don't know how you would, like you said, I don't know how I would measure that into a day-to-day process, because my goal right now, I have that as one of my personal goals, and it's get 5 pages done a week.
5 pages done a week. Now you've got that. You write your book, which is an abstract goal, right? We have a lot of abstract goals. Write your book, but then you can turn that into something that you can do on a daily basis. One of the best things that you can take away from this is, we all know that the little things we do on a day-to-day basis compound. It's not just adding; they compound to create the future that we have. So the habits that you have today, the eating habits that you have today, maybe it's not going to make a difference tomorrow, but it's going to make a difference in the long run. So habits, in my opinion, are the building blocks of goals. If you can create habits in your life that are going to support the goals that you want to achieve, you will get there. So what you've done is you created a habit. You said, I'm going to do 5 pages a day, a week, 5 pages a week to reach my goal. That's a great way to do it. What about relationships? Anybody write a relationship goal? Do you have a better relationship with your spouse, a better relationship with your significant other? A lot of people who do have relationship goals, what do they say? What is their goal? I want a better relationship, right? Well, how do you turn that into a measurable goal? What if you did one thing nice for your spouse every day for the next 60 days? Take that abstract goal, turn it into a habit. Do you think that your relationship would be better at the end of those 60 days? Now, what if you changed your goal a little bit and you said, I'm going to do one thing nice and I'm going to do one thing naughty in my relationship for 60 days? Do you think you're going to have a different quality of that relationship at the end of 60 days? You better believe it. So what we want to do here is now we're going to take the goal that you wrote down and work with your table and talk to them about how you can take that goal and make it specific. If it can't be specific, if it's too abstract, turn that goal into something that can be a habit that you can begin working on. We're going to do this for the next 7 minutes. So, or less if you guys get it done earlier. But we've got the next 7 minutes. So take the goal that you wrote and turn it into either a SMART goal or something that's more specific to what you want to accomplish. While you guys finish writing that, I'm going to tell you another story. And I was telling Maria a little bit about it for my goal setting. One of the things that really impacted me in life was I had a relationship that I really cared about. And at the time, I was really busy. I was working at home, I was working freelancing, I was working here, and I was networking. I was trying my best to grow myself professionally. And I was in a relationship that I really cared about, but I didn't give a lot of priority to. And not only did I not give a lot of priority to it, but the time would come when she would want to hang out, and I would be busy. And I wasn't always busy because I was working, I was busy because I procrastinated earlier, and now I had to get to work. Does this story sound familiar to any of you guys? So, I get on the call with a consultant. I was still big on goal setting, and I wanted to have somebody help me break through. And one of the things that he said to me was, he said, did that relationship mean a lot to you? I said, absolutely. And does procrastination killing your relationship? I said, absolutely. Anyway, by the end of the call, he connected procrastination to the relationship so tightly, I was ready to put down $5,000. I was like, yeah, I'm in. I want this coaching. I'm ready to go. He used a principle that's called NAC. NAC. And what NAC stands for, does anybody know? NAC is Neural Associative Conditioning.
Oh yeah, discussion upset.
And the idea behind Neural Associative Conditioning is that in your life and in my life, there are events that happen to us that are so impactful that we remember them. It's not the workshop that you go to that you get jazzed up and you get motivated about. It's the heartbreak that happens to you, or it's the success of winning a game that you tried really hard for. It's the success of marriage or a relationship. Those times in your life that engrave themselves in your heart. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Birth of a child.
Birth of your child. I don't know that one, but I imagine that pretty much sticks in your heart. What neuroassociative conditioning says is that in those times of high emotion, you connect the event to your brain. You connect the event to what was happening there. It's like Pavlov's principle of ringing the bell, and you come and you eat the food. So what happens is throughout our lives, we are conditioned in hundreds of ways that we never even think about. And it's time for the goal setting for this to leverage that on the flip side. Instead of letting our emotions run our lives, instead of letting our emotions run our thoughts, what we want to do is take this very specific goal that we've now come up with and communicate it to our heart in a way that our heart isn't going to forget it. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not the week after that. So we're going to neural associate our goal to something that we really want. Now, how do you do that? It's just like that guy on the phone did with me. He said, procrastination has cost you your relationship. And you can take it a step further. Maybe it's cost you that relationship. But what if it's cost you the next relationship? What if you never, ever have a good relationship because you procrastinate? Sounds a little dramatic, right? But what it does is it puts in your head this notion that procrastination equals bad relationships. And that can be pretty powerful. If you can leverage that yourself to get to where you want to be, that is going to take you to a whole new level. The point here isn't to be dramatic. The point here isn't to be unrealistic. The point here is to tie that connection between what your brain says you need to do to what your heart says you need to do. So when the times when you're on the sea and you're getting turned around, you're getting tossed all over the place, your heart will tell your brain again what it needs to do. It works both ways. So the next part of this workshop, we're going to take the next 10 minutes, and what I want you to do is I want you to get super emotional about your goal. On the next page, flip it over. The E is for emotion. And I want you to write down two types of things. I want you to write down really positive emotions you associate with your goal, and I want you to write down really negative emotions you associate with not achieving your goal. And if you want to take it a third way, you can also say why you have to achieve it now. Why does it have to be now? Why have you put this off? What have you missed out on by not achieving this in the past? We're going to get moving on to the next section. Hopefully you are super connected with your goal at this point. These emotions, guys, it's not logic that gets you through the tough times. It's not logic that's going to tell you, no, I can put down this French fry. Logic's gonna say, I could put down this French fry, but I could just actually go walking a little bit extra later, and then that'll walk off the French fry. And then, do you ever go walking later? No. Been there, done that. I know. That's why it's so important for us to get emotionally connected to our goals. Don't feel bad about lying to yourself. You have been lying. You lie to yourself. You lie to yourself all the time. These neural associative conditions. Those emotional moments are called anchors, and those anchors happen to you whether you like it or not, because that's how life is. We're emotional beings, we're emotional people. So we can make SMART goals all we want, but until you can get emotional about it, until you can say, yes, I have to do this, until you can build that steamroller that's just going to topple over all the obstacles, you're going to overthink it and you're going to lose sight of that goal. So emotion, key part of this. And what's the last step here? A. Anybody guess what A is? Action. Action plan. I debated between calling it action or action plan. You guys get action plan. Maybe another workshop will be action. Action plan. So what does the action plan look like? We know this one, guys. I don't need to go through this one. What does the action plan look like? What are some of the things that we can apply to our goal to make it a reality?
Make it happen.
I like scheduling it.
Scheduling it. That's right, scheduling.
And planning for it.
Scheduling and planning, yep. What are some of the other tools that people use to achieve their goals? If you are trying to lose weight, what are some of the tools you use?
Your diary or calendar.
A diary or calendar,
Tracker,
exactly.
Tracking.
Say that again?
Tracking.
Tracking. What about an app? What else can you use to achieve your goal? If you have a weight loss goal, what is one of the things they tell you can go find for weight loss? We have them here for Horner. What do we have?
Healthy.
You have MyFitnessPal. What else?
Color me healthy.
Color Me Healthy. Exactly.
Coaching.
CMH.
Getting help.
Coaching.
Andrea.
Coaching. Coaching/mentoring. I wish I had more time to belabor coaching and mentoring, but I'm not going to.
How about accountability?
Accountability, that's a great tool. I'm reading a book, it's called Never Eat Alone. And it's the story of how important relationships are in our life, of how important it is for you to be connected with the people around you who can help you achieve your goal. So people are a resource. Even if they're not coaching or mentoring you, just the people around you can be a resource, can't they?
Yes.
There's a million websites out there. I'll show you one that my team hates that I use. I use Date Pressure. You guys know about Date Pressure?
Never heard of
No.
Date Pressure is when you set a series of milestones for your goal.
Not like dating. Like
Not like dating. When you set a series of milestones for your goal, then you're like, but not only do you set the milestone, because you can say, I'm going to have this done by then. No,
Right.
you say this, I'm going to be showing this by then. For this workshop,
Okay.
one of the date pressures that I use is I held another workshop before this on January 31st. And I said, I know that I'm going to be hosting that other workshop, so I have to have already practiced this. By the time I come in here, I'm ready to go. I've got it down pat. If you can set up date pressure for yourself, social pressure, date pressure, tell other people you're going to be doing something, and force yourself to be in a position where you make that happen, you're gonna give yourself no choice but to succeed. So date pressure, social pressure.
That's a website, or what did you say?
I said the web team loves it when I give you guys date pressure. When I tell you, oh, I signed you up for a conference on such and such day, or I signed you up to speak on such and such event. That's why.
help with prevent procrastination.
And it helps with
Sign up for this.
Thanks, Kevin.
Just saying, it creates
No, no.
stress. Just saying.
it creates,
It
but
creates
there's two kinds of stress. That creates a good kind of stress.
That's who you are, Kevin. Come on now.
One of the tools that I use is I have an Excel spreadsheet, and every night that I accomplish my goal, I check it off on that spreadsheet. I mean, it goes right along with journaling, calendar. Those check marks, those check boxes are really important. So, dashboards. You know, they say what gets. Oh, where'd it go? Well, oh, there it is. What gets measured gets done. If you can figure out how to measure that and stay on top of the measurement, not once a week. Even if your game plan is only to write 5 pages a week and you haven't broken it down to a daily, look at your dashboard every day, because that's going to build in you those little habits that are going to grow into accomplishing your goals. I am going to talk a little bit more about mentoring though. Guys, if you can find somebody who's been there, done what you want to accomplish. A lot of time when I tell people, do you have a mentor? They say, well, my dad's my mentor. No, your dad has been your mentor for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life. You've learned enough from him. You've figured out most of the things that he knows how to do, and you're probably on the same level with him. Maybe not in life, maybe not in that stuff, but for the most part, seek outside yourself. So look for people who are well beyond where you want to be. Financially, look for people who are well beyond where you want to be in relationships, well beyond where you want to be in fitness. Those people can be coaches, those people can be mentors, but if you can bring them into your life, one, they often love to work with you and they'll often be more than happy to help you grow. And two, they know the struggles that you're going to be going through and they're going to help you navigate those in a way that you wouldn't be able to on your own too. So if you can, I really encourage that particular strategy to add to your list. Look for somebody who has what you want. Maybe, Nick, you find a writer who has...
I already picked on Eric's brain, Louis.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we read his book on the...
That's an awesome example.
Yeah.
It's an awesome example. All right, we only have a couple more minutes, guys. Hopefully you have some great strategies written down. The last step of the action, and this is a key for any goal. We've covered a lot here, and we've condensed a lot. Hopefully you guys have learned some stuff. The last thing I want to show you is that at any goal, the site of any goal, you have to do what? Taking action. So as soon as the goal comes to your head, as soon as you've got this strategy written out, you're feeling emotional about it, you're feeling great about it, you've got a specific goal in front of you, take action right then and there. Don't wait till next week and say, oh, we'll get to it, or I'll schedule it, or I'll do this. You know, if your goal is fitness, go online right now and download MyFitnessPal and program it with all of your stuff. So the last step that we're going to do, the last part of this workshop, is I want you to take an actual action on your goal. Maybe you have to call a coach and set up a meeting. That's fine too. Call the coach, set up a meeting.
I think that for anybody who puts lose weight or anything, if you're not on the My Menu Pal, or I'm not sure what it's called, My Menu Pal.
MyFitnessPal.
The one that I'm not Kim, Bill's daughter does?
Oh, the menu planning
The
tool.
menu planning thing.
Oh, yeah, My Menu Pal, yeah.
My Menu Pal, that
Yeah.
one. It's
Yeah.
offered here.
It's
I'm
free.
on it, and it has great recipes on it. Like you can
Yeah.
actually grab some good, healthy recipes right off of that and just follow it.
That's awesome.
And they're not so, they all taste good. Yeah.
It's how you're gonna spice it up the way you want, but at least you're eating healthier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys, if your phones aren't out right now, then you're not taking action on your goals the way
If
you
your
should
phone's
be.
at what?
That's not
If
true, I
your-
just ordered.
If your phone is not out,
Languages of low out.
if your phone is not out, you're probably not taking action on your goals.
Still write these down.
Well, then you can write it down, but you should be emailing somebody, you should be connecting with something or someone to achieve your goal.
Okay.
And the great thing is, the great thing about habits is once you have them, they don't take as much energy to maintain. So you can move on to other goals after that. You can move on to other stuff once you've gotten this pattern down. So hopefully by now, we've covered everything. We've gotten through a specific goal. We've gotten super emotional about our goal, and we've taken action on our goal. We've got a good plan for how to follow up on that. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming together, and I want you to thank yourselves taking the time to come out and set goals for your life. I talked to BK before this meeting, and I said, hey, do you guys do goal setting workshops? And absolutely they do. It's not about learning about goals or doing goals. It's about taking the time out of your life to craft what you want to have happen, to change your future for the better. And hopefully these strategies will help you guys take your goals and start knocking them out in an easier way. So thank yourselves. Give a high five to your team, to your group around you.
Great job.
Thank Coach Andrea. Thank Kim for their support in the group. If you guys have fitness goals, well-being goals, Kim, Andrea, Julie, they would love to help out with those. Gary Chisling has offered his advice to anybody who has a financial goal, if you want to learn more about finances. And there's a ton of other resources available. So please look for each other in the halls, look for each other around work, ask your teammates how you're doing on their goals, help keep each other accountable, and let's take life to the next level.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great job.